And look at you, Jennifer. Jennifer is brand new here, hasn't even received her product. And look at her here on the team call. That is impressive. Everybody needs to give Jennifer a hand. That's doggone impressive right there. Way to go, Jennifer. I'm Jana. Jennifer, nice to meet you. And we're excited you're here. Thanks for hopping on. So excited to have you. This is such a great community. You joined a great team. We all help each other out here, love each other. So happy that you're here. This is for those of you that have never been on, like Jennifer, this is our team call we do every Monday night. We discuss all kinds of things on our team call. I was wondering when someone was going to say something about the glasses, y'all. Just recently turned 47 and I'm just giving into it. I need reading glasses. Like it is what it is, right? So I noticed that in 1 week, probably, I guess it was in January, within 1 week, I had two people like, Jana, you're really squinting when you read. I'm like, I am. I guess I was in denial. So I got reading glasses and I'm like, oh my gosh, this does help. This makes such a difference. So here I am in my glasses. So more people are hopping on here. I really just wanted to share a little bit of some personal story tonight. So I'm going to get personal, then we're going to talk about some things that God's really been revealing to me personally. We're going to talk about how that applies to our businesses and how we can apply some of the things that I've learned over just the last little bit, how we can apply that to our businesses. So I don't know about y'all, but I love when, there's things in our life that we know they even seem simple things, simple principles, simple things that we know in our head, but sometimes it takes God kind of peeling back the layers over our eyes for us to truly see them. And that's a little bit of what the story is about. So I kind of got to tell some backstory. I hate to bore some of y'all with it because some of y'all know the backstory, but for those of you that don't, it kind of helps to understand a little bit. So for those of you who don't know, I joined Plexus in 2013. I started on the products in spring of 2013 and started on it for weight loss, right? How many of us have those people that just come for weight loss? They just want weight loss, right? We all have them. And that's what I started for. I wanted weight loss. And hang on, I'm going to mute everybody here. And I started on the products and actually just fell in love with the products. That's why a lot of y'all are here, right? You fell in love with the products. It turned into a business, an accidental business. That's a lot of our stories, not everybody, but it is a lot of us. That's our story. And I did not really start sharing until the fall of that year. Just long story, but I didn't know a whole lot about the business, didn't know there was a business side of it, a whole lot anyway. And so I started sharing in the fall of that year. By that time, I had lost a considerable amount of weight. And I tell everybody it was a tool in the toolbox. It wasn't a magic pill for me, just like a lot of people want it to be a magic pill. I found it to be the tool that I was missing. I found it to just be, I came into Plexus already just desperate, kind of ready to lose the weight. And this was the final tool in the tool belt that I needed to finally get to where I wanted to go. And I did achieve, I over time, I lost 40 pounds. By 2016, I was in the best shape literally of my entire life. I would say I was in better shape than I even was in high school, working out all the time, in great shape. A lot of you know my story, and this isn't really actually the part of the story I want to share a ton about, but in 2017, my 16-year-old daughter was killed in an ATV accident. So, as you can imagine, that obviously impacts you greatly mentally, emotionally, in every way you can imagine, but it really impacts you a lot physically. For me, it just I just felt my body ached all the time. And honestly, it was just the grief, but it just came through in a physical way, and it manifested itself physically. And I went from literally being in the gym 5 to 6 days a week because I wanted to. I had kind of fallen in love with that, to literally just doing good to get out of bed for a long time. Fast forward about 20 months, and I believe with all my heart, due to the grief, due to just how it was impacting my body, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So, stage 2 breast cancer, I went through chemo, I went through surgery, and then radiation as well. Don't worry, this is not a pity party story for me. So, that's not where I'm going with this. I just need to tell you a little bit of the backstory for those of you who don't know. Well, as you can imagine, that does a number to your body, right? Like, whoo, that does a number to your body. I think we have all women on here, right? I think so. I think it's all women, so I feel good about talking about this. If you didn't know this, this is something to know when you are trying to help someone or friend someone going through chemo. Most of the time, chemo puts a woman into menopause. So I was only 41 years old when I was diagnosed, and we come up with my game plan. I'm in, I don't know, 2 cycles into chemo, and I'm sicker than a dog, and telling my doctor I am not having periods anymore. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this puts you into menopause." I'm like, "Great." That's so great. I'm so glad I knew that. Went through chemically induced menopause, which, let me tell you, is straight from the pits of hell, and I'm not kidding. It really is. It is horrific. Yeah, that's not fun at all. And on top of that, going through chemo. So my body was just put through the ringer. I mean, just put through the ringer. And over time, I think going through menopause, I ended up having to have a full hysterectomy, can't use any hormones and all of that just because of the cancer. My body just changed. I mean, it drastically changed. I didn't know what was happening. I was constantly like, what is going on with my body? Different things, different, all, I mean, just all different things happening. Over time, actually, it happened fairly quickly. I gained a substantial amount of weight. Again, this is why this feels very personal and honestly feels very vulnerable for me to share this with you. But I really do feel like I want to share with you what I've learned really just the last little bit, and how God has revealed some things to me just the last little bit. So, honestly, with everything I've been through, gaining some weight, I didn't want to gain the weight, but I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm alive. Um, I'm here for my family. I'm here for my husband and my 2 other daughters, and so I'm here. So, and I think there's something to be said for that. Like I'm very thankful for that. If I never lose a pound, I'm still very thankful for that. So, I, really struggled with that, gaining some weight back, or gaining some of the weight back, and just really struggled with trying to figure out, how to approach that, how to deal with just not feeling my best anymore, not feeling like um I have a plexus story anymore, just really struggling with a lot of things, as you can imagine. I'm trying obviously to condense years of a story into our little bit of time that we have here. So um I sat down with I got to go to a mastermind retreat here a few weeks ago, and I ended up at a table with there was 4 diamonds, 4 of us all together, 3 other diamonds, and we just fell into this super deep conversation about just life, all of life. And we got to sharing our plexus stories, which isn't that interesting. You get star diamonds together and we're still just talking plexus and sharing our plexus story. And so we got to talking. I told him I had lost weight, and they knew a little bit of my story. And I talked to him, like I really want to lose this weight. I'm really struggling to lose this weight. And honestly, I self-sabotage. I told him that. It was the first time I had admitted it out loud, but I admitted that I self-sabotage. And I said, I don't know why I do that. I'll lose 3, 4, 5 pounds. And then it's like, take me to the Mexican restaurant and feed me all the chips and queso you can feed me, right? I really do self-sabotage. And that did not used to be like my personality. And so when I said that out loud, nobody tried to coach me through it. Nobody tried to talk me through it. It was just kind of a, I wonder why. Like, I wonder what is causing me to self-sabotage. Well, I walked away from that story. Do you ever have conversations like that that are just deep conversations? You walk away and then that one thought just keeps spinning in your head. And all of a sudden you're going, why do I do that? Why am I self-sabotaging myself to reach my goals? So I just kept thinking about it. I even prayed about it, asked the Lord, like, if there's a reason, a deeper reason behind this, other than I just like chips and queso, because that could be the reason. If there is a deeper reason, I want to know. I want that revealed to me because I want the best for my health. I want the best for my body. It's the only one I get. I want to take care of it to the best of my ability. So something I don't know, just out of the blue, had a thought here just I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Have you ever had a conversation that happened years ago? And I do mean years ago. Maybe it was with a parent. I think we've all had those where something our parents said to us that they probably meant nothing by it. It was probably a very flippant statement, even on their end, but something about it stuck with you. Maybe it was a friend, maybe it was your spouse. I think we've all been there, right? Where we have just like, we can think back on those moments where something has been said to us to where we have just taken in something they've said and we have so believed it or so it's just been a part of us. Well, years ago, a friend of I say a friend, it was really an acquaintance. Um, the funny part is it wasn't even somebody I knew well at all. She told me a story. This is way, way, way before any of this happened, but she told me a story of how her mother-in-law had lost a significant amount of weight and shortly after that was diagnosed with cancer. And y'all, that little statement, even though I know it's not true, there's no medical basis to that. And actually, there's a lot more medical research that shows being healthy and at a healthy weight will actually will decrease your chances of cancer. But that little statement, that one person that I hardly ever knew has been living in the back of my head for a very long time. I have let that manifest into something huge into my life. And what it's looked like is it has looked like, Jana, just stay right where you are. You're doing good today. There's no cancer in your body today. So just stay right where you are and stop. You don't have to do anything. So you can see how then that has turned into me self-sabotaging my own health journey. So I then got to really thinking about that and praying about that. And through conversations with people wiser than me, through tears, I realized I got to let go of this. Um, I know not everybody on this call is maybe a believer, but I know a lot of us are. And for me, I had to go back and I had to remember that God's already written my days. My days before I was ever conceived were written. I don't really have that power to determine how long and how much time I get on this earth. I don't get to play God. I don't get the power to play God. And so when I laid that down and stopped trying to play God in my health story, all of a sudden I felt like I was released to actually run with this. I felt like the thing I can do, the things that I can move forward with is I get to decide whatever days he's given me, whether that's tomorrow or when I'm 85, I get to decide my health in a lot of ways. I don't get, he's still God, right? But I get some power over how I'm going to choose to live those days, how my health is going to impact those days, how my health is going to impact future generations. And let me tell you, the chains lifted off of that, the freedom that I have found in that is profound. So some of you are sitting right now going, well, that is awesome story, Jana. That's great. I'm glad you shared that with us. How does that apply to my Plexus business? So as you can imagine, if you guys don't know, I'm a thinker. I just like when I get off on something like this, I get to thinking and man, how God just like is like peeling the layers off my eyes just a little bit at a time of like, listen, Jana, this applies more than just your health story. This is what is holding a lot of people back. And I truly think there are 3 reasons why people are not moving forward. So I want to apologize, first of all, those of you that are brand new on this call. This is not necessarily our normal call. We have people on this call that have been doing this with us for 10 years, or, around 10 years, some obviously less than that. But some of us have been together for a very long time. And some of us, we get stalled in our business. We don't know how to move forward. And I just want to speak to 3 reasons that you may not be moving forward in your business. There are more than 3 reasons, right? There are more than the 3 reasons I'm going to mention, but I do think these are 3 big reasons. I think one is fear, like I just talked about, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. We're going to talk about inconsistency. I'm going to show you a little bit how that has applied into my own personal story. And then we're going to end it with a lack of strategy, with a lack of vision, a lack of knowing how to get to the next level. So we're going to talk about that at the end. So I told you that story tonight, and I really want you, if you do nothing else when you hang up from this call, when you are thinking about your business, I want you to think about the lie you've believed. It may have been a lie that someone has said to you. Maybe it was someone not in this business and didn't believe in this industry, and they have told you a lie that you've just believed, kind of like I believed the lie about, um, you know, losing weight and its correlation to cancer. What a lie. I let myself believe even though I knew it wasn't true. What lie are you believing that is causing fear and holding you back, stopping you in your tracks? There's probably one that everybody on here can mention. If you want to put in the chat, you're welcome to, but don't feel like you have to. I know it's vulnerable, but there's probably some fear that stems from a lie, whether it's one you've told yourself or someone else has told you. So I want you to think through that. You most likely then are taking that fear and you are using that fear to self-sabotage yourself. Maybe you have a great month or even a great week. And then the next week you're going, well, that was great and that was fun, but it's not going to happen again. Maybe it's whatever self-sabotage looks like for you in your business. I want you to think about, why am I self-sabotaging myself? Why am I doing this to myself? Why do I feel like I want to work for a little bit, but then I work and then something just stops me in my tracks where I'm fearful. I want you to tie it back to whatever the lie is that you're believing and figure that out. And before this month ends, preferably before tomorrow morning, I want you to tell somebody what that lie is. Somebody on this call, somebody on your team, somebody that believes in you and will speak into that lie and tell you the truth. I want you to do that before preferably before day's end. All right. So the second reason sometimes for not moving forward, that, and honestly, this is probably the biggest one, that I see, and it goes back into, you can tie this into any area of your life, really, truly any area of your life. And the fear as well. If you know, whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life, a lot of times, if you can't move forward in that, there's a reason, there's a fear, there's a reason that you're stopping in your tracks. So the second reason, though, is inconsistency. Ooh, anybody feel like I just stepped on your toes? Because I think I just stepped on my own toes, right? So I've been there. Inconsistency is a big one. So I'm just going to be real honest with y'all and real vulnerable with a little bit more of my story, so that I just want you guys, I'm human. I deal with all this just like y'all do, and I struggle with it just like y'all do. I had this grand revelation. I felt like the Lord just like revealed this to me, why I'm doing this, the lies I'm believing, um, why, like, it took a load off my shoulders, honestly, is what it felt like. And so I started to apply things. I started to put things into practice. You guys, if you've ever talked with me, I'm a big MyFitnessPal app girl. I love that app for just tracking my food. I was exercising, still am, but I had dropped a few pounds. Woohoo! Yay! Excited. Got up yesterday morning, weighed, I gained a pound. How many can relate? Like, how many of us been there, right? We get there. And let me ask you something. When someone comes to us on our Plexus team and they're like, well, I gained a pound this morning, what do we tell them? Stop weighing every day. It's normal to gain a pound. We know it, right? We know that's the truth. But when we have to apply it personally, we don't want to apply it personally. We're like, no, that is not for me. That's for everybody else. I'm going to have this steady graph down on my weight loss journey. That's just how it's going to happen. I know it's not true. It is not true, but it's just how it's going to happen. Got up yesterday morning, gained a pound. It put me in a really bummy mood on my way to church, right? Get to church. Pastor gets up and he says, I'm going to preach a different sermon today. Basically, I am going to use the principle of Proverbs 13:11, which, let me read the verse to you. The verse says, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. He said, I'm going to use the principle of compounding interest to teach us the power of compounding faithfulness. And I was like, okay, I get it, Lord. I get it. Okay, I'm not going to quit today. I'm not going to go self-sabotage. I'm not going to go eat the entire basket of chips and queso at lunch. I hear you, right? So I want to I'm going to really take a lot of what he said yesterday, and I want to speak on this topic tonight, because I truly think it is where a lot of us are, where we have the biggest holdup, why we are not moving forward, and it's our inconsistency. And I want us to flip the negative word of inconsistency, and I want us to flip it instead. I want us to turn it into thinking about it as compounding faithfulness. I want us to think about it that way, because if you take that verse, you can pretty much take the word wealth out and you can put anything in. I can put in weight loss, right? Weight loss gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. I really don't want to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 weeks, because I can't keep 30 pounds in 3 weeks off. So I honors for my body, and in a way that is sustainable, because that's what I want, the long-term rewards. You can apply your business in this, right? The the growth in your business gained hastily will dwindle. We've seen it happen, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. When we go and we want to sign up 60 people in a month, we can't really, it's hard to help give good customer service to 60 people in a month. Now, if you can do it, like that's not, I'm not discouraging you from doing that. I'm just saying you need a plan of how you're going to help them. So I want us just to talk about a little bit of the dangers of instant gratification, because I think to have the advantage to take off 6 months and never share anything, hop back in whatever month we decide to come back, and then we wonder why we don't have any instant gratification. And it's because we did not do any compounding. We did not build and build and build until we saw the snowball effect of what we really do want. So I want you to realize the actual value of gradual incremental growth over the long haul. That pays huge dividends. It just will always pay off. The key to it is putting in the work. It's putting in the boring day-to-day work. So our pastor used an example of a 20-year-old. A 20-year-old, I hate this example because it makes me sick that I didn't do it, but a 20-year-old can invest, if a 20-year-old invests $65.68, if you have a 20-year-old, you need to tell them this tonight. If they invest $65.68 a week over till they're 65, they'll have over $1 million. Now, most 20-year-olds will be like, I don't have $65 a week. And that's when you dig in and you say, well, how many coffees are you buying every week? What does your target runs look like? Where else are you spending money that you could find that money? That goes for our time. Often we're saying, I don't have the time, I don't have the people, I don't have whatever it is, but we really have to dig deep because we really do have it. We just have to find it. We have to find it to be able to put in the investment. When we put in the investment, it pays long-term dividends for years and years and years. It truly does. The thing about that example is if you wait 10 years, you wait till someone's 30 and they want to have $1 million by the age they're 65, they have to triple that amount. So I tell you that to tell you, wherever you are right now, stop delaying. Find the reason, find the fear, find the reason you're self-sabotaging, and then start now. You do not want to wait any longer. You don't want to wait 10 months or 10 years and think, I wish I would have put in the work then. And because you will see the people that did, and you're going to see the compounding effects that they get. So if you were to put this example on a graph, you're just for a very long time, you're going to see this growth like this, right? And we're talking about, none of us are waiting 45 years to go diamond, right? But I'm just using this as an example. For a while, it may look a little bit like this, but then the interest begins to compound. And all of a sudden you start to see the snowball, and the graph goes up and up and up, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and bigger and bigger. So the steady growth that often looks boring is where you have to invest. It's where you have to put your time and your energy. And that is where the end result, you sitting on the beach in Hawaii, that's where it ends up being. That's where your results end up. But if you don't put in the steady growth, you never get to see that final outcome. The key is to start tonight. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, not March 1st. I am not accepting a March 1st answer. You're going to start tonight. All right. You're going to start tonight and you are going to be consistent. Staying faithful is the secret. Most of us don't stick with anything long enough. My weight loss, your business, whatever it is, a relationship, we don't stick with it long enough to actually allow compounding faithfulness to snowball in our favor. So that is why I started with the fear and the self-sabotage, because if you don't deal with those things first, you never can get to this point to where you can invest consistently, faithfully to see the end result. So I want you to listen to me. We are actually coming out of our hardest months. Not as a team, I'm talking our hardest months of the year. I've been in this long enough. I talked even with some of you today, to you, if you've been around any time, you know that December, January, February are usually just slower months. They're not bad months, they're just slower months. And that is completely normal in network marketing across the board. You've got Christmas, you got people paying off Christmas, you got people in winter slumps, and we're coming out of that. Yay! So excited. March is one of my favorite months in our business because you just really start to see a lot of growth. It's such a great, great time. So I want you to get excited about what's coming. I actually just found out some secrets tonight. Oh, it's all I can do not to share. I am just telling you this. You want to end February as strong as possible. I want you to end February as strong as you possibly can. And y'all just gear up for March because it is going to be a really big month. There's no way, honestly, I don't think there's any way it can't be. So, some of you over the last 3 months, some of you really, you have put a lot of drops in the bucket. You have been consistent, you have shared, you have prospects that haven't bit the bullet yet, and you're like, where have they been? I've been talking to them since December. Your time's coming. I promise you, I've been in it long enough. And those of you that have, you can shake your head yes with me. You've been in it long enough to know March, April, May, June. There's something to be said about the monthly trends. You have to factor that into a business when you're running a business, with any business, and it applies to ours. And so the really, really fun months are coming. The snowball months are coming. So some of you are sitting there going, Jan, I didn't put drops in the bucket. I did not do it. It is not too late to start tonight. This is the time to start. This is the time to start sharing. So we have to change our mindset from fast and furious all of the time. There is a season for that in this business. I actually 100% agree with that. And I will never discourage someone who is seeing unbelievable growth. But what you don't normally see is you don't normally see that without a season of very consistent growth, a season of them building compounding faithfulness, and then you see the snowball and you see the crazy growth. It's never too late. Tonight is the night to rededicate yourself to your business. Name the fear, name why you're self-sabotaging, decide tonight is the night I'm putting my foot down. I am going to be consistent with this. And I'm going to do the boring things. I'm going to do the things I don't like to do. We all have them in this business. It's always interesting to me because I have things I love to do that other people do not like, and vice versa. It's always that way. You're going to have things, but it's that way with any job, right? Any job is going to be that way. But I want you to know the boring kind of, usually the things you don't like to do are the things that will end up yielding the greatest rewards. They always will. So I want you to dig deep. I want you to figure out what those are, label those things, and decide tonight is the night you are going to be consistent. Tonight is the night that you're no longer self-sabotaging. You're no longer letting that little lie that is constantly in your ear, you're not letting that speak to you anymore. And you are deciding that I'm putting my foot down tonight. I'm going to, from now on, I'm going to see some growth. We are going to move forward wherever you are. You're going to just move forward from where you are right now. So nothing, just remember, nothing replaced being consistent over time. Just nothing can replace that. All right. So let's see, where am I? Oh, I like this example too. So many times it requires accumulation of time. And, I mentioned that, I touched on that a little bit. And a good example of that is when we are living with our own children, we often don't see the growth in them every day, right? It's not until maybe we're around grandma who hasn't seen them in 3 months and she's like, oh my goodness, they've grown so much. Or you look at a picture and you're like, holy cow, they've grown a ton. We we don't see it because healthy growth really does happen right under our nose. And so it's in the day to day, it's in the mundane, it's in the daily consistent work that growth happens, and we sometimes don't see it, but you have to know that it's happening. Okay, little by little, a little becomes a lot, and it really does. Slow and gradual sometimes won't always get you the shout out. It will at times, but not always. But it will eventually get you the point growth. It'll eventually get you maintaining your rank. It'll eventually get you ranking up. And I think that's what we want, because I told somebody today, a rank to me equals blessing for my family. That's how I view a rank. A rank means a blessing to others. How can I use that income to bless my family, to bless others, and to do whatever God's called me to do? That's what a rank means to me. So we have to get back to focusing on that and realizing that the slow and steady, the constant, the consistency is what will get you there. So that's the value of compounding faithfulness. Faithful work over time equals extraordinary change. And this, you can apply this to anywhere in your life, anywhere in your life. Stay faithful over the long haul, whatever it is, and that you will see the snowball effect. Okay. I actually believe a lot of you are about to see the snowball. Some of you, you're listening to me right now and you're going, okay, I got to put my foot down. We're at all different stages in this business. I got to put my foot down. I got to be more consistent. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to put the fear behind me. Some of you go, I did that a while ago. I'm ready to see the snowball. And I actually believe a lot of you are about to see it. And I'm really excited for that, because it is fun when the snowball happens, when the growth happens, when the rank ups happen. Man, it gets exciting. And that is fun. I mean, that is the fun part of our business. All right. So I want to touch lastly a little bit on the third reason I think sometimes some of us get stuck. And I think a lot of it goes to strategy. Don't shut down. Some of you hear the word strategy and you're like, zone out, zone out. I don't want to hear that. Just tell me what to do. So I'm going to tell you what to do. You need a strategy. You need strategy. You need vision. You cannot be just out there wishing and hoping and praying. And I mean, those are all great. You need to do it. But you can't just be out there saying, well, I hope my points go up this month. I'm just checking my back office every 15 minutes, hoping magically more points will appear. You can't do that. That is not going to get you where you want to be. You have to have a strategy. A lot of you, like I said, you're ready for the harvest. You have planted and planted, but some of you are lacking strategy at this point. So what I want you to do, I want you to start right now. not wait March. We are not going to wait and think, where do I want to end March? I want to know where you are going to end February. If you know me at all, you know I'm a realist. I am not I'm not one of those that is like gonna tell you, you had 100 points in January and you come to me and be like, well, Jana, I'm gonna try to hit 500 points in February. I'm gonna be like, no, you're not. Like, show me all the people. I'm a realist. At the same time, I will push you. I like to push people. I want to get you out of your comfort zone. Nobody on this call should end with any less points than they end in January, including me. Nobody. Nobody should end with any less points than where they ended January. That's the goal. All right. If February ends and I have put in my all to end, maybe that was where I ended. It was just where my team was. It was where we were, but I knew I put in my all. Then I'm going to say, all right, I did the best I could. I want to be able to truly say that at midnight on the 29th. I did the best I could. My goal is to go past where I ended January. I want growth. But if it doesn't hit, then I'm going to be okay with that as well. But I will not succumb to that until midnight on the 29th. And I don't want you to either. Do not make this a Monday morning situation, right? How many times? I'm going to start my diet Monday morning. I'm going to start my exercise plan Monday morning. I'm going to start reading my Bible on Monday. I'm going to start whatever it is. Do not make this a Monday morning situation. We know how those end up. We know how Monday morning situations usually work out. This needs to be, it's Monday, the 26th. I have all day the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th to get my points as high as I can get them. And that's how I want you to view the next 3 days. Whatever you have to give, I want you to give it. I want you to put as many drops in the bucket as you can the next 3 days. And then I want you to wake up on the 1st and I want you to decide what your goal is going to be for March. I want it to be reasonable. Maybe you need to go to your upline and you probably need to talk to them. If they don't come to you, then you need to go to them and you need to say, hey, I want a goal for March. So this is where I ended January. This is where I ended February. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? What do you see in me? What potential do you see for me ending March? It needs to be a reasonable goal, but it's always a goal that's going to push you out of your comfort zone. It has to be, or else that's not, if it's just to stay steady, that's not vision. Okay. That's just staying where you are, staying stuck, right? So it needs to be that you need to do that on the 1st. Then you need to break that down. Okay, so what does that look like? If I need, I'm trying to think of round numbers I can work with. I'm just going to work, I know level ones give you 6 points, but I'm just going to work with people giving you 5 points because it's easier for me to math that way. So if you're like, whatever my points are, I'm going to grow by 30 points in March. I ended February at, maybe I ended at 70 and I'm going for gold. I am going to go for gold in March. So I need 30 points. So I'm going to break that down. That's 6 people. It's less if they're all level ones, but that's 6 people. And that's where I want you to start your focus. I want you to know how many people you need to help in March to get you to that goal. But you cannot wait till the end of March. You need to then back that up by week. So if my goal is 6 people, then I know every single week in March, I'm getting at least one. That does not mean I'm having to get them myself. A lot of you have a whole team in your back office that you can go have conversations with and try to get them signed back up or back to ordering again. Maybe they haven't ordered in a while. Those people count. If they weren't giving you points in February, then they count for your March goal. And you need to figure out how many I need a week. So I know if I'm shooting for 6 because I want 30 extra points, then I am going to shoot for 1 to 2 people of those every week. And I'm not ending the week. I am not going to end the week without having that goal. Because listen, guys, you cannot keep waiting till the end of the month. You're just going, that is what causes burnout. That's what drains people. You can't do it. You have to do this throughout the whole month. All right. So that's why I'm even telling you, like, do not wait and wake up on the 28th and see where your points are. You're going to start tomorrow on the 27th, right? To try to end February as strong as possible. And then in March, you're going to go into this and you are going to break this down by week. You're going to figure out how many people you need to reach that goal by March. And you're not quitting. You are going to be consistent. You're going to shut out the lies and the fears and the self-sabotage. And I am a full believer that most of us actually have the tools we need. There's always new systems. There's always great new tools coming out. And I am for those. I love them, but I actually also think they can be very overwhelming. And the problem is we want to keep taking in new tools, and then we overwhelm our people because we're always throwing out new tools. But where the big hole is that we don't ever establish a vision for our people. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing a new method? Where even am I trying to go? What am I trying to hit here? And so without a goal, you will never get to where you want to be. It sounds so simple, but how many of us work our businesses just hoping and wishing and praying that our points go up, and we don't have an actual goal? So I want you to, tonight, I want you to label your fear, label why you're self-sabotaging. I want you to recognize if you're being inconsistent and call it out in yourself, and let somebody else know, like, I am saying this to you because I want you to hold me accountable. I am going to be consistent with my business from now until, put a date on it, July. What is it? July? Put a date on it. I will be consistent. And this is what consistency looks like to me. Then I want you to develop a strategy. I want you to figure out where you're going to end February. Just label it that way. This is where I'm going to end February, not where I hope I end, not where I wish I would end. This is where I'm going to end it. And then March 1st, you start that all over again. And you figure out March, and you plan it out. You map it out. And you guys, you can do this. And I'm telling you, it's where you're going to get to where you're going. And it applies to any of your area of your life. I have a plan in place to get I want my health to be the best it can be. Will I ever be back into the shape I was in 2016? I doubt it. I was a lot younger then, and my body has just been through a lot since then. But can it be better? And do I have a plan? And do I have goals? Yes, I have them, and I'm committed to them. I'm going to be consistent to doing what I know to do. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. I'm just going to do consistently what I know to do to reach my goals. And that applies to your business. So we've got a few minutes. If anybody wants to ask any questions about anything, I hope this has helped you. If nothing else, it was for me, because I just feel like I've just had a few weeks of, honestly, I've cried more the last few weeks, just had a lot of moments of just, God, just, um, you know, living after such trauma, living post-cancer is incredibly difficult. The fears that get to you, I can't even explain them. And God has been so gracious the last little bit to bring some comfort, to reveal to me that ultimately I can only do the best I can do. I can put in all the work. I can do only what I can do, and I have to let him do the rest. That's why he is God, and that's why he's a good God, and I'm not. And so I just want to thank you guys for letting me share. I want to thank you for just letting me share my heart tonight and be vulnerable. It's just been a little bit of a season of growth for me, for sure. Okay, so let's answer some questions. All right, I love these. These are just some practical questions. All right. How much posting is too much? I love that. So I think it's different for everyone. Um, if you see if that you're losing people, if you go check your friends list and your followers and they're going down, you might want to reevaluate a little. I'm not saying that's always like the measurement of knowing I've gone over or I've whatever. Um, because you'll always lose people. People, I mean, if people don't want to see your stories, sometimes I'm like, well, that's on them. They're the ones missing out. But sometimes it can just be that they feel like you're throwing up plexus on them. So, um, if you 3 to 4 times a week, actual plexus post is great. If you feel like you can get by with more than that, because you're also sharing a lot of life, the people that are sharing lots of life, they can get by with sharing a lot more than that. The people that aren't sharing a lot of other life, they can't, because then it just looks like you're puking plexus. And I heard a phrase the other day, it looks like you have commission breath. I love that. I'm like, nobody wants to smell commission breath. So, um, it's really truly, it's so personal. Until what other things are you sharing? What other things are you posting? Are you sharing in stories? Are you sharing just on your feed? Blah blah blah. It really is very personal. um and so that's kind of the gauge you have to go off of. I don't know if that really helps a lot, but I know when I share more personal life, I can get by with sharing a lot more plexus. And we all know sharing plexus, um, it's perceived differently. If you're sharing more from the heart, if you're putting thought and time and effort into your post, they are more personal. Not saying there's never a time for a copy and paste or for something like that, because that is fine, sometimes. But if you're never sharing from the heart and they're not looking at that thinking, if they look at a post and be like, that does not sound like Brooklyn, she just copied and pasted that, then that's not going to get you any traction either. The people that I see that really put a lot of time and interest, time and effort into really writing great content, putting out great personalized content, um, they have a lot more interest. They have a lot more people tuning into their stories and wanting to read their plexus post. So what besides posting should I be doing to get new people signed up? What can I drop in that bucket? Some things I'm using here lately is, and I try to always post about these on the Building Freedom page, is the um, real people, real stories call. I don't know if you got fantastic on them. Just say you can tune into this call. Nobody will know you're there. Just listen. And then as soon as it's over, I'm going to follow up with you. Get people to do that, because when they can hear real life people, see them with their own eyes, hear their stories, you usually will have somebody ready. They will say, that spoke to me, I'm ready. If the key is to get them on the call, that is the hard part. I'm not going to lie. Once you got them on the call, you kind of, that's the easy part from there on. The other thing I'm using is the other call, and I post about this one too, the how to make $300. I love that call. And I love it even more now. I don't know if you guys know this, but we were having to, if people got on that call, then you had to start a little, like a 7-day chat with them and talk with them how to, basically your goal is to get them silver in 7 days. They have now automated that. So at the end of the call, they will text a word to a certain number. And over 7 days, you can go do this as well. I've posted about this. You can go text the number tonight so that you can know exactly what your people will be getting. And over 7 days, they will get dripped on with how to go silver in 7 days. So there's 2 tools I'm using. So there's so much out there. We could go on with this forever, but I'm just going to share with you the next thing I'm using, and then I'm going to draw the line there because, like I said, I just think it can get so overwhelming. And I don't want anybody that will shut people down. That will stall you in just being like, well, I just want the best thing. You don't need the best thing. You just need to do the next thing. You just need to do the next thing. You don't need to keep looking for the best thing. The next thing will get you where you want to go. But the last thing that I do is to do messenger chats, messenger events. If you will go to Building Freedom and just type in messenger events, lots will pop up. Go to anybody on here, go to your Jewel upline. They can help you find a messenger event. Y'all, if you've never done one, they're so easy. Please do not let you scare them off. I've done them sitting in a restaurant before, waiting on my food. I've done them sitting in parking lots. You can do them from anywhere. You never have to really even show your face. And they're really powerful and good. And those are easy to get people on. You can, and if you'll go search on Building Freedom, we give you a lot of, I know there's multiple posts on there telling people how to invite people. We had a whole separate page at one point, and I know we have boards set up with all kinds of messenger events with different topics. Honestly, just find a triplex one. Find a triplex messenger event. I can try to find one if we need one and put one in Building Freedom. And just stick with that. Stick with simple. Stick with what you know, and don't overcomplicate it. All right. Sherry has boards with 15-minute. Perfect. Sherry, if you can post that in Building Freedom, that would be awesome. If you can share that board with everybody, that literally gives you every tool you need. And then, just like I said, search messenger events. That's the other tool that I'm using. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it, but do those things. Just do those things very consistently. Anybody else have any questions? All right. I'm excited. I want to hear from some of y'all. If any of y'all don't have an upline that you're like, I don't know who to send some of this things that you asked for, as far as what my fear is, what my goal is for February, help me figure out March. If you don't have someone, start there. Please start there with someone that can help you map that out. But if you don't, message me. I will help you work through that. Okay. I'm telling you, some of y'all are about to see your snowball. You really are, and I'm really excited. I'm so pumped for it. I believe in you. I know some of you are fixing to see years and years of hard work pay off. You really, really are. And I'm just so excited to be sitting in the stands cheering you on, because it's yours for the taking. All right. All right, guys. If there's no more questions, I will let you go. Yes, thank you for being your first call. Some of you I know this is your first call, and this was really deep and a lot for some people's first call. So hopefully we'll do another call soon that's more geared towards newer people. So we'll try to plan that soon. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Love y'all. Bye.